those of you who just want to see what the river looks like, I'll do the first 3 or 4 minutes of running the river. And then after that, we'll go through, I'll talk a little bit. We'll go into the nuts and bolts of the run and give you some more details and fly some maps through so you can see where this all happens. So let's take a look. We've done this run 3 times in the last few weeks. And on the last trip, a good friend of ours, Luca, came up to join us on his paddleboard. I've watched him go through the Montrose Whitewater Park at 1100 CFS and stand up all the way through. I don't know how he sticks to the board, but he does almost all the time. Here's one of those almost moments. Looks like a lot of fun, doesn't it? I can sure tell you that it is. So let's just go through some general information. I have the hardest time finding information on the rivers and seeing what it looks like, and that's what I'm trying to do here with the few videos that I've made on the, novice to intermediate type rivers that we enjoy. So of course, the first thing, safety first. You have to have a personal flotation device, your life jacket. You got to, whether you're on an inner tube or in a kayak or a raft or anything, it's a must. Secondly is, do I need a helmet? A lot of these high mountain rivers are rocky and fast moving. Should you upset the apple cart and go into the water and you start bouncing around the rocks, yes, you do need a helmet. The other thing, and this is something that is just kind of a personal thing, I really don't like that cold water very much, and I'm telling you, it is cold water. So we have our dry suits, which we absolutely love. You can also wear a wetsuit, that works too, but just be aware, you know, it's a warm summer day and you think, well, if I get wet, you know, I'm just going to dry off and I can get out of the river and, you know, warm up. That's true if you can get out of the river. But for any reason, should you get hung up in the river, it could be very serious, very fast. Next is, well, let's talk about the maps. You know, exactly where is this? So let's lay in the first map. The Taylor River runs into the Gunnison. The Taylor is north of Gunnison, Colorado, and it is south of Crested, Butte. This run is a 5-mile run, and ironically, well, the road goes next to the river, so it's almost the exact same distance on the road as the river. You put in at a place called 5 Mile Recreation Site, and there's a real nice ramp there that goes down to the water. It's really set up well, and a restroom there. The takeout is at a place called Almont. This is where the Taylor, the East, and the Gunnison all come together. There's a nice takeout there, or put in if you're running the lower, that next section of the Gunnison. But one thing to be aware of, it's very, very busy. They put in commercial trips there to run down the Gunnison for the fly fishermen, and it can just be just a major crowd. So I think it's worth saying with put-ins like this, be prepared to take out or put in, have everything together and everything ready to go so that we can all have a chance to get in and get out in a timely fashion. You know, be considerate and polite, and most of all, sometimes you just have to have a lot of patience. Nextly is what's the class of this river? It's they call it a class 2+. We've run it, the 3 runs that we've done here recently have all been, for the most part, at 400 CFS. And I think that would probably be true. It's the class 2+. It's a lot of action in the first part of the river. That's where the first half maybe is where most of the rapids would be, but you're still going to get some humps and bumps down lower. So it's so pretty, and it's such a fun run. It's there's not any tricky things, or you have to be river left or river right for this or that. It's just a straightforward fun. If you're new at it, this is a good run to learn how to navigate your craft through all the little rocks and the little boulder fields that are on it. It's just really fun, moving around a lot and practicing that. Secondly, as I referred to the CFS, we ran this at 400 the last few times. For those of you who might be new to that, what does that number mean? This is a really important number. When I say we ran it at 400 CFS, that's cubic feet per second, and that's how the river flow is gauged or measured. You'll hear the river runners talk about, I ran that at 700 or 5,000 or this and that, and that's what they're referring to. Now, just because the CFS may be low doesn't mean that it's easy. And it also doesn't mean if it's high that it's easy. It could be one way or another or all over the board. So when you're doing your research, you'll be able to see People talk about certain levels and what the difficulty is, and it's really something you need to take into consideration before you do your run. Get as much information as you can on these different water levels, because it can be kind of a surprise if you're not ready for it. And along with in the same vein as the safety, always try to do your due diligence. Get as much information as you can. You may think that, so you see this video and it looks like fun, but next season a tree could fall down this winter, or a rock fall could happen and create a hazard on the river. So it's important to try to get to, some of the locals, talk to some of the locals, find out what's going on. Is there anything new, anything you should be aware of? We live in Montrose, and Montrose has a great shop here, the Montrose Surf and Cycle. The group of folks that work there are all very active in different aspects of outdoor recreation. And they're really good folks. Go and tap their brain, see what they got to say, see what's changed. And if they don't know, they can sure put you in touch with someone that does know. So I would highly suggest always trying your best to, get the most updated information that you can. What kind of crafts can you use on this particular run? Many of the rivers are very shallow in these high mountains, and so the bigger rafts, you can have kind of trouble with those, getting them through. I've seen the commercial trips and other rafters put in 14-foot, maybe even bigger than 14-foot rafts, both with oars and just folks on the tubes paddling. As you saw, my friend did it on a paddle board. I think you need to know what you're doing on those paddle boards, but paddle boards are a lot of fun. I've seen them up there, and of course inflatable kayaks, hard shell kayaks, all really good crafts on the river. But it is so absolutely gorgeous. If you get a chance to do it, I highly recommend it. So if I misspoke, or if there was something to add, please always put it in the comments below so that everybody can see it and get as much information as possible. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And like I always say, until next time, GoPro, stop recording.